here we go.
Sorry. I had a bourbon.
Oh, we all had a little bit of bourbon.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Toolman Tim here. We are back with an in-person live roundtable at the Midwest Preparedness Fest. Where are we? In Perry, Kansas. It's kind of cool. We met some new friends, and as tradition dictates, we are going to do, well, it's not just a workshop roundtable, it's also a living free in Tennessee and a homestead medicine, is that right? Medical. I was so close. Too much bourbon. Almost. So yeah, we almost got there. So anyway, let's get started. Let's go around the horn and say hello and who you are, and since nobody knows who you are. And
Hey, I'm Nicole Sauce from the Living Free in Tennessee podcast, and I'm stoked to be here with my friends a week before Self-Reliance Festival, and I have not done any work today. On Friday.
we did speak today.
Oh, yeah, I spoke.
Yeah, that counts.
But I didn't do any work for the festival. It was awesome. So it was really fun. What?
Perfect for me.
I was perfect for, by the way, we have live chat here. Live chat, what's your name?
Come on in, say hello.
My name is Jules.
Jules.
Jules is here to be our live chat, and she will occasionally interject just for the fun of it.
It's Jeremy Marshall, one step closer. Came up from Texas. Looking forward to. It's been fantastic so far. Tomorrow's gonna be more fun, and looking forward to seeing everybody here that I can at SRF next week.
Is it warm enough for you?
It's getting there.
Chuck Peoples, Homestead Medical. It's been a great day. Lots of people, met a lot of new people, but there's also a lot of people here from SRF, a lot of familiar faces, and it's just good to be around all of the typical crew from this big community and network.
And I'm Amy Kelly with Crunchy Mama Farms, and we also have the Be the Butcher program. We're from Texas as well, and
recording.
I'm wearing my my sleeping bag outfit because I'm so cold.
So it's Crunchy Mama? Yeah.
sleeping bag outfit?
We need to know.
You know, a friend gave it to me as a joke. A friend gave me this as a joke, and it was my favorite thing that I've packed. I got it like I was gonna bring. All the whole family was just like, "Please, Mom, don't bring it." But it's like the favorite thing I packed.
I think it's awesome.
How's the weather difference from Texas all the way up here in Kansas?
It's a bit colder here, and we like it that way.
I think you like it that way, because where are you from? Introduce yourself.
Oh, well, this is Sean Kelly from Crunchy Mama Farms. I'm in charge of our Be the Butcher program, where we teach people how to harvest their own animals or our animals and turn it into delicious meats. But
Which one of you is Crunchy Mama?
Oh, Amy.
Oh, okay.
Amy's Crunchy Mama.
Are you Crunchy Papa?
I'm the Crunchy Daddy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Tell them what a Crunchy Mama is if they don't know.
Well, here, Amy, you since you are the Crunchy Mama of Crunchy Mama Farms, you can tell them.
Okay, if you don't know what a Crunchy Mama is, it's like the modern day version of the hippie. So we're like granola crunching, and we're like very holistic, and we read all the ingredients, and we wear the babies on our backpacks, and that's just a Crunchy Mama. It's more of a lifestyle.
I love it. I think it's great.
Do they all wear sleeping bag outfits?
I don't think so.
I love it. I love it.
If you guys come back next year, you need to have matching outfits.
Oh,
So,
more flannel.
yeah.
I'm gonna have her done. Oh, in flannel. We'll do it. We'll figure something out.
Are you familiar with the Christmas classic, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
I've actually never seen that.
Oh my God.
It's tragic.
So-
I've seen the European Vacation a dozen times.
The next door neighbors, they wear matching jogging outfits that are somewhat similar to Crunchy Mama's outfit. So that's what it's awesome. You need to get a matching outfit for next year. So,
I'll have to do that.
yes.
I'm Sam Russell. I was a machine gunner in the Marines, and I take a bunch of tactical gunfighting classes like as my hobby. I got a YouTube channel where I talk about whatever the hell I want.
And you like meat.
Oh yeah, meat's cool.
Yeah,
I like meat.
What do you do with meat?
Oh yeah, I make beef jerky every once in a while and sell it to people occasionally, usually for money.
Some of the tastiest meat I've ever had, actually. Yeah.
I do have some good meat.
I've heard that.
Meat yet.
Well,
I bought it.
It's not cheap.
I've got some.
Yeah. I had to pay
some good meat.
$25 to taste his meat. So. All right.
Usually it's the other way around. But.
So let's go in reverse order this time. Why don't you guys say what brought you here and what you're hoping to get out of this event?
I think I heard about this event last year. The first one I came to was last October. I think I heard about it through Nicole probably talking about it. I think. I
You
don't
listen to Nicole?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll listen to Nicole and Jack Spirko, and
I try not to, but yeah,
You should listen to me, Tim.
I will someday.
but
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, there were cool people saying, hey, there's cool people over there, and over here isn't too far away from where I live. So I was like, it'd be kind of stupid to not go up there for the day and see what's up. So a year ago in October, me and a buddy, we came up here we were here for like 8-9 hours on a Saturday. It was cool. I came back in the spring, whenever it was in the spring, March or May or whatever it was.
I think it was May.
May?
Yeah, because I was here.
All right. And now I'm here again because the people continue to be cool.
Is that what you take away from each one is connections and people and
Pretty much.
nice.
Yep.
Crunchy Papa? I mean, Crunchy Daddy.
Well, Amy and I were actually at Mark Baker's farm in northern Michigan, Baker's Green Acres.
Oh, that's
And
a great place.
he actually kind of got us involved in the whole butchery thing.
Okay.
Actually, we met him at the first Rogue Food Conference in 2020. It was January of 2020, and I called him up that summer, and I was like, "Hey, we got nothing to do. Teach us how to butcher chickens," and we went up there and did it. But anyhow, we were at the baker's place, and Tag was there, and he started telling us about this event. And one of the things we're trying to do with our farm and all of our students is build community, and just kind of put people together that value freedom, value good food. And Tag said, "Come up here, see what we've been doing," because this one's been going on for going about 20 years or so.
I think so, yeah.
And so we wanted to kind of take some of the things that really work here that maybe aren't things that we have thought of to implement at our gathering, which is the November 4th weekend.
Right.
So plus it was an excuse to get out of the Texas heat.
Have you had your first get together at your place yet for November, or is this?
We started it as just a gathering of a few friends, similar to how this started, where we had maybe 5 families. And then it's grown. We're probably going to have about 100 to 150 people this year. We're currently building the new farm school building on our farm, and above that will be our new home. And once that's all in place, then we're going to really be able to expand it and just create networks of really cool people, because anyone that comes through our classes, generally they already have their own side hustle going, or they were forced out of their old jobs because of the COVID mandates, which apparently never happened now. But
That's information right there.
it's cool because
Fact check. Oh, sorry.
it's really cool
Fact check.
because we're having people show off their skills and teach other people, or they're be able to trade. Like there's this one woman that creates the most amazing goat milk soap, and she can have a little booth and sell that type of stuff, and just put business owners together. So it's kind of cool.
So have you met any new people while you've been here?
You?
Live chat.
I think one of the really cool things that we came to see was Bartertown. And so we've been talking it up with our tribe and saying, hey, we're going to do this thing called Bartertown. And we found out about it through Tag, and we want to kind of see how it works. And the kids are super excited about it. And they've brought, like little toys and light up things. And I think it's a really neat skill for kids and for adults just to be able to know how to barter, because I think we're just so used to money. That's, it's kind of hard to know, well, how much is this worth if it's not worth money, so it's, so it's negotiating, but it's also trying to figure out what you value. And it's just a really neat exercise that I think is just awesome.
So you mentioned you wanted to build freedom as well. So Amy, what is your definition? What are you guys trying to build toward for freedom?
Freedom just, well, I think with the butcher business and teaching the classes is that it takes about a year where we are to get a processing date for your animal if you need to get it butchered. And I think it's just the freedom to be in control of your food. And so not having to be on someone else's timetable, and it's also freedom to not stress the animal. We teach you the proper way to butcher the animal in a stress-free zone. It's just, it's not a pretty process anyway.
Sure.
It's like no one likes anyone's life being taken, but it's, they have one bad day, in their entire lives, and they grow up, like on the pastures, and we give them and we spend so much time giving them a really good life. We want to also give them a really good death. I don't know, it sounds kind of morbid, but
No, you're talking to the right people. Don't worry.
yeah.
Provide for so many more.
Exactly. And just, no stress for the animal, because it also affects the flavor of the meat, because the pH,
So,
if you stress the animal. So it's just, yeah.
how do you? What is a way to make it stress-free for the end of the life of an animal? What do you do to?
Yeah, so that's Sean's job.
Okay.
This is not Amy's job. But you just have it in a very, we bring it into a pen, and, we just let it sit there and relax. And, like it just calms down and just thinks it's just another day. And, it's on the same area that it's always been.
Sure.
And it's just a real quick gunshot, and they stick it, and it's just over like that. It doesn't even know that it's coming.
Okay.
And it's just real quick. And as opposed to when they go to the slaughterhouse and there's a whole line of them, and then as they're going through, they're seeing what they're feeling, the atmosphere, first of all, and they see the other animals going through before them, or they could be in a big pen where they're getting bumped around and, hurt and stuff like that while they're waiting for their turn. And it's just it's just not an ideal environment.
Cool.
Sean can probably speak more to
No,
that.
that's
but-
I
No,
I
I
appreciate
think you
your
nailed
passion
it.
for that. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. That's neat. It's
They
not.
know what's going on when they see another animal killed in front of them.
Sure they do.
Exactly, yeah.
Smell the blood too.
Yeah. Yep, and our animals never know anything happened, and so, and we're also like teaching people how to do it themselves, where they don't have to rely on an institution or anything like that. And so, yeah, I could just keep talking about that.
No, so when did you? When was the first time you guys dispatched your own livestock?
Well, I grew up on a farm in
Okay.
Michigan.
I figured you. I thought you may have.
Why
but-
do you
Yeah.
like Baker?
No, actually. Yeah, I grew up on a farm in Michigan about 70 miles from Detroit.
Okay.
And so we raised sheep and rabbits, and every once in a while, coyotes or the neighbor's dog would get in with the sheep, and we would have to harvest them and not let them go home, not let them go to waste. In fact, one time I was dating a vegetarian in college, and the first time I took her home to meet my parents, at the very end of the drive, perfectly white snowy day, is my dad with red arms and a knife, and I'm like, oh Lord, what is he doing? And anyway, that ended that relationship pretty quickly after that, and it's for the best because I've got Amy now. So I learned that growing up, went through college, got into the business world with General Motors, started our own software company, and then in, 2018, we were launching a software product, and I went to CES, and I believe, it's 2019, and we went to CES, and they were launching Impossible Burger and Meat 2.0, and I got to be part of some of the cocktail parties because we were exhibiting at CES. And I was just like, at that moment, I'm like, I really need to create a bigger buck pull, because growing up in Michigan, everybody goes to the pub in town, they hang their deer that they've harvested up and go get drinks and whatnot. And I'm like, I don't know how to process a beef, but I need to learn that. That really hit my head. And then we saw COVID coming about a year later. And I remember the day that they did the travel ban to Europe, and I'm sitting with my software team, and I'm just like, well, we're going to be okay because I have beef. And their eyes went wide. They're like, what the heck does that even mean? And I said, well, this is going to be a bad thing. I'm seeing the marketing. I'm seeing how this is being played out through the media. This is going to be a bad thing, but we're all going to eat. We just have to figure this out. And that's, we had already met with Mark Baker at that point because we saw it kind of coming as early January. And that kind of led me on the process. But it for us, it was freedom to choose what we eat, what we're going to nourish our bodies with. Because I saw what the corporations are pushing, and a lot of it's nothing evil necessarily. It's just that's what's going to be really profitable for them, at least what they were seeing.
Sure.
And my whole process is let's let's go what tastes good. Let's do it better than what we can get at the store. And let's share that knowledge with other people so they can live really well the way that they want to live. And also, if you're able to harvest an animal humanely and do it on a small scale rather than loading it, transporting it, and all that, that's better for the animals too.
Nice.
And that's what we want to do. But
Thanks, man.
You weren't quite on board with that alternate protein.
you know, do what you're gonna do. I was a Boy Scout. I've had fried grasshoppers before, and actually, it's not that bad. In Mexico, I had grasshoppers dipped in chocolate. That was pretty good. But you know, if we're raising beef and we want to have chicken and things like that, let us do that.
Nice. How about you, Chuck? So, how did you find out about this place?
I really don't remember. I mean, it's been talked about. I guess it's just through the whole community of this, through the SRF community originally, and then meeting, Tag and Spags and Grumpy and everybody, Patrick, who are part of this. And the more I looked into it and then got to know them, it was like, I want to be part of that. And plus growing the community. I mean, it expands out. And I was going to come to the last one, wasn't able to at the last minute, so I stuck it in my calendar. I was coming regardless, and then Spags reached out and said, "You're coming, right?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, you're speaking." Well, okay. So, but also the big thing is I don't come to these events for. I mean, yes, do I want to make money? Of course I do. Do I want to promote my business? Yes, but it's really the networking and the people, and because that ultimately helps your business. That helps grow what you're trying to do, because the people in this network, they want to support what's in it. Mm-hmm. But it's just learning from those people. Like I said this morning when I was speaking, the people here, a lot of the people putting this on, you all, so, like my mentors, that's who I learn the business stuff from, how to grow my business, how to do that, because you all have proof of success. And it's meeting new people and just expanding that network out. I think that's probably the most important thing of coming to any of these events. I mean, yes, it's important. You listen to the speakers, you learn, but it's also that side networking that you do and the people you meet. I think that's what's going to be probably the most beneficial to you, is doing that, because then you're eventually going to learn from those people and just being able to talk to them and meet friends and contacts and stuff. And like I've said all weekend, I can drive across this country now, all kinds of different routes, and I've met somebody that I'm in contact with, have their phone number in almost every state. So if something happened, I have somebody to reach out to because of this.
That's cool. And how long's that? Because you just got into the community, not like in the last couple of years, right?
First SRF. I went to the first SRF. I didn't know a soul. I just...
How did you find it? Do you remember?
Well, it started... I started listening to John Willis's. I found John. I was in the hospital for several months, for 5 months. And while I was laying there, I would listen to John's videos, and I found his YouTube channel, and then I started listening to his lives, and that's how I found out about SRF. And went down, it started out as a little thing. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know one person, anything. And now some of the people I'm closest with, that I talk to literally every day.
Did you present at the first one?
Not the first one.
Okay.
Not the first one.
Do you remember this might help other people, because going to your first event can be kind of intimidating.
It was.
And you went blind and green and wet behind the ears. Do you remember how you felt heading to the event or showing up at the event?
I remember thinking about it when I was driving down to Camden. I was like, I hope these people aren't crazy. I'm which
We all think.
that became true. But it was, it's kind of intimidating when you walk into, because a lot of people at the first, they knew each other from like tactical response and other stuff, and so I didn't know anybody, and I was like, wow, I hope these people aren't dicks, or what, but they weren't. They were the nicest people. I walked in and I'd never even spoken to Amanda before, and she introduced herself and started, talking. That was the first person I came in contact with, and then John introduced myself, and I'd been on the lives. He'd seen my name, and real nice, showed me around, and then just everybody else, everybody I kept meeting, talking to, was good people, and I felt an instant connection. I probably within 20 minutes, I didn't feel like I was an outsider, like I didn't know anybody. I felt very comfortable, and from then it's just grown. I mean, that's why I have a business now, is because of SRF. From doing that, from taking that chance and driving down there just to be part of it, because I was in the same like-mindedness of these people. I was like, yeah, they're kind of talking my language, and I want to be part of this. And I just felt like I could learn from that, and expand what I want to do. And I mean, it's changed my life, literally. I mean, from where I was then to now, and I can honestly say, for me personally, I'm a happier person. Just overall, my well-being is much better because of it. Because I'm not around the negative people.
There you go. Surround yourself with the right people, right?
Yeah, it's the right people, and I steal this from. It's not just John and Nicole and you and Jack and all that. Surround yourself with people who are better, who are more successful, because that's how
100%.
you're going to become successful. And that's what it is. This whole network, anybody who I've asked for advice has helped me, or people have done it voluntarily. Just here, let me help you. And where are you going to find that?
Absolutely, brother.
That's a great thing about it. And if people listening to this, you're on the fence of coming down to any of these events, don't be on the fence. You're doing yourself a disservice by not attending.
I love it.
And that's just the truth.
So I'm kind of similar to Chuck, because what happened is my wife and I had always talked about, I'm a city kid, we always talked about going out and getting a piece of land, and then COVID happened, and then despite all the horribleness of that, I got laid off in January 2020. So I had a lot of free time while trying to look at jobs to figure stuff out. And we're like, well, checking, kind of doing a skill inventory, and then we started getting employed, and then I started, doing the podcast thing. I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. Picked up gardening, and then I heard about someone called Nicole Sauce. And I started listening to her podcast. She's mentioned this thing at the self-reliance. So I'm like, that sounds kind of interesting. Oh, there's going to be some interesting people there, like Billy Bond. And I'm like, couple days off, rolled in town. Like I said, it hadn't been last October when I was finally able to do it, and this doesn't seem, it's all right. People weren't crazy, like you said, just pop a tent in the back, no problem. And it was just, like I said, I try to spend most of my time just listening. I figure, let me just take the temperature, listen, try to figure out what I don't know, what questions I need to ask. And it's just been fantastic. It's helped, got me more inspired to learn more skills. I ended up meeting Tag there. And that Tag and I got to talking, and then, talking online, he was launching this new freesteading site. And like I said, I've been an Excel nerd for 20 years, so I was like, yeah, let me help. I know some ways I can help the community right now because I can use those skills, so I was helping him. And then, let me come out to Kansas. So brought the family out in the spring, and then we went out to SRF, and we're just, like I said, just, in the meantime, we're working on gardens, we're helping at farms, processing animals, learning that skill again, and just trying to be useful and making those networks as we learn to figure out, I want to buy land, what does that mean? So I'm taking Wheaton's online PDC, try to figure out, so at least when I buy something, at least I don't feel completely like a newbie. It's like, okay, I can take a decent idea so I know the right questions to ask to the right people, So
Cool.
that's where we are. And like I said, I'm headed back to SRF next week, so I'm doing a mini version of Tim's road trip in reverse.
Well, that's where we met first, was last year at SRF, right?
Yeah, I believe so, yep.
And you were there all by yourself again, right?
Yeah, so last October, the first time, I obviously brought the family out this spring.
Okay.
Having a teenager that would rather do stuff than listen to stuff, I'm like, okay, yours is going to be bored. So she got to stay home this time.
Do you remember how you felt going to your first event?
I didn't know how to feel, because I was very nervous, because once again, I didn't know anybody from Adam, I'd seen a couple of faces in videos, and that was it. Starting to really study in the permaculture, and they started talking about the compound, I really wanted to see the compound, because I was like, this permaculture thing sounds nice, but what does it look like in real life?
Sure.
And just taking a 10-minute walk through John's systems, it just made a lot of things click. It's like, okay. Hanging out at the campground, just getting to meet other people and other presenters, and everyone, like I said, was very gracious. And I don't think I've met anybody there that has any airs about them. Everyone's just like incredibly happy to help, and like I said, you hanging back, listening. Kind of ran into Jack there, and I'm like, well, these people, I expect them to be overwhelmed and stuff like that. No, it's like, all right. Everyone's just really happy to talk and ask questions and answer your questions, and a lot of times I just kind of sit back and just try to absorb.
Some of the nicest anarchists you'll ever meet, eh?
That's another story. Jack was right. The difference between a libertarian and anarchist is about a year.
Yep, couple of years.
I was a libertarian there, and I'm like, yeah.
So was I, brother.
Right.
So was I. And then you're just like, I was giving up on the government.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Go ahead, Jack.
what I've learned also is more important is you think you have an idea of how it's going. Oh, I think I understand this. I think I could do it. And then when you go to these events, you realize how very little you know because you see the other people with the proof of success. But then you also realize I can do this. I'm just doing it the wrong way.
Yep.
Yeah, but the nice thing about it is all the people in this community, they're all they show you. They teach you by their mistakes too. I did it this way, I failed miserably. And then I did it this way, and this is what works. So, that's the nice thing about everything within this is you learn stuff. And then you meet, if you want to learn how to process animals, you find out new people who are doing, teaching classes. You find out all these different things. And, I've been a student for life by just learning things. And I've taken a lot of classes, the same class, several different times, but just from different instructors. And you pick up that aha moment each time from each instructor because they say something that keeps with you or makes you better. And every time I'm around you all, Nicole, everybody, I learn something new. It's just always something new. I learned today Nicole spoke German. I didn't know that.
I think she can swear in German too, can't you?
I can swear in German.
I do. I learned something new. But I think, for me, and just like you, it brings a whole different side of you out, I think, and a passion that what I realized also is I'd prepped for years and years and years, like since '99. I've been doing this, putting food back, doing this, but I was just putting stuff back. The sustainability, and the homesteading and all that aspect is what I've learned and how important it is. And I also learned it's not a bad thing. Before you used to almost hide it because society made it.
Sure.
Oh, you're one of those weirdos. It's not weird. It's normal. It's what our ancestors did. So that's the nice thing, and especially the people who are out there who've got the successful podcasts and stuff. I think it's important that we support it as a community. Everybody should be on there liking the videos, commenting on the videos, getting on the lives. And try to do that with everybody.
You're a cheerleader too. In a good sense. Like you're always sharing everybody's stuff and
I try to share everybody's because it does. You have to play the game of the algorithm, and 100%. I want the others to be successful. That's the least I can do because you all have helped me better my life. Why shouldn't I pay it back to you in any way I can? That's the way I look at it.
That's cool, man. That's awesome. Do you want to tell the story, Nicole, of the first live event you went to? It's a great story.
Which one?
Jack's, yeah. I don't know if that's the exact first one, but that's the one I've heard before.
Okay.
I love it.
So I was running a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to teaching libertarian policy nerds how to tell a story to get people's attention and win their hearts before coming through with the facts of the economic analysis they had done. And I realized as part of that, and this was a nonprofit I started. As part of that, I realized that our system is so broken. This is where I became from libertarian I transformed to an anarchist during this time. Oh, wait, you cannot work within the system to fix the system because the system is set up to be the system. And no matter what I do, the game is rigged. And when I had that realization, I was driving to a trade show to run a booth to convince people to persuade with story. And I was crying for like 4 hours in the car. And I went home and I started a podcast. Because the work I was doing at the nonprofit had gone from what my skill set is, which is catalyzing or facilitating things to happen, to being the administrator and the fundraiser for a 501c3, which is not where my love is. So it was a lot of clerical work and a lot of, traveling around trying to persuade people to donate. And I started listening to this podcast, the Survival Podcast, by this fellow named Jack Spirko, and he talked about doing a spring workshop, and he put out the call, anybody who wants to pitch a class, I'll give you $150 off your ticket. And I don't know why that $150 mattered in my life, but I totally would not have gone to his workshop if it was $150 more. So I pitched him a class, and I just pitched it the way I'd pitch any class, which is like learning objectives. This is the topic. Here's what I'm going to cover. Here's some video of me like doing presentations. And he didn't answer. And then a week later, he said, I'm probably going to accept your class because you actually wrote this lesson plan as if you know what you're doing. Great. A week later, I hadn't heard from him. I'm like, he talks on this podcast about falling behind on email sometimes. I'm just going to double check. So do you want me to teach? She's like, oh, yeah, you're in. I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you. So there I was, getting ready to go camp on his compound among a whole bunch of preppers who know what the heck they're doing. And I'm not a prepper, I'm a homesteader. That was before I realized homesteaders and preppers are basically the same thing. They just have different words.
Yep.
But how stupid am I going to look when I get down there and I literally haven't pitched a tent in 10 years? So I pitched my tent at home so I wouldn't look like a total buffoon.
I got an idea for you.
I get down there and when you like your guy lines that you stake into the ground to keep your tent from blowing away?
Yep.
I get my tent up and I look and I managed to like hop a ride with the only other person I knew in the network down there. I look at him, I'm like, I don't know how to work the knots on the guidelines of my own tent. And he showed me how to do it. And I staked my tent all down, and my tent was one of the few tents that did not blow away in the windstorm that time. And then I walk into this room. Dorothy was female. Salima was female. Teresa was female. There may have been one other girl there. I think there was. And I was female, and it was all men. And I walk in and I know nobody. And I just thought, what am I doing here? And then the person who made the coffee had not, wasn't there, who knew how to make the coffee. And I was doing the presentation on how to roast coffee. And so Teresa, who was one of their staff people, says, can you make the coffee? We don't know what we're doing. And I became the coffee lady at that event. Because I knew how to make the coffee, and I kept the coffee urns rotating the whole time because it's really sad to me when people don't have coffee.
Me
yeah.
too.
People could die if you don't have coffee.
But I walked in there knowing nobody, feeling complete, and I'm an introvert. Like, it was bad. And because I was presenting, somebody talked to me about coffee. Then Pat Watson showed me how to pick a lock.
Pat.
And then somebody introduced me to Jake Robinson, who talked to me for 2 straight hours.
Oh, you poor thing.
And then I was the coffee lady, so everybody liked me because I made the coffee happen. So it completely turned around. And what I ended up with at the end of that event was a network of what I call big brothers. Like, I never had a brother, but I have 80 brothers from Jack Spirko's workshop who are always like, okay, Nicole, we see you're going to this Kansas event. Did you arrive? Is it safe?
Isn't that sweet?
Literally that happened here this time. And
didn't
we
know I
all
was here.
know that I'm here and I'm safe. And they know Toolman Tim's here. They know Chuck's here. They know Spags. They know everybody here, but they're still like, is everything safe, Nicole? I'm like, yes, it's safe.
I love it.
So that was my first one.
I wasn't going to tell my story, but now that you told your story, I think I need to tell my story, my first live event. So my first live event was 18 months ago. And so 2013, I was working from home selling Dragon Naturally Speaking software. And I had a lot of downtime. So I would listen. I started looking for podcasts, and I was like, hey, I like this prepping thing. We do it. So I found Jack, and I listened to him for a long time. And eventually, I found Nicole through there. And, I met people through the Zello channel and all this. And all along, my wife was so supportive, but she's like, how are your imaginary internet friends doing? And I'm like, they're great. I said, hey, do you want to get on a plane? Do you want to fly to Tennessee? Do you want to spend 4 days with my imaginary internet friends that we've never met in real life? She's like, where is it? I'm like, in the middle of fucking nowhere. And she's like, okay. And we spent 4 of the best days we've ever had at Nicole's property, hanging out. We knew our people, but we never knew our people. We met our people, and I will never forget, as long as I live, the last night as we were leaving, walking down that hill, treacherous hill in the dark, and Becky looked at me and she said, honey, we met our people. And I had tears in my eyes. I'm a big softie, once in a blue moon. And that right there was the power of meeting in person. And so, you look back on it, and your first event, you met Jack through that, and I eventually met you through that, and then started my content creation through that, and then came to your event, and then we bought land in Tennessee. Like the family tree of all of this, the Survival Podcast family tree, and is just unbelievable, the amount of connections we've made through people. So
I call him the Godfather.
Oh, 100%. It's unreal. So that's my story anyway. So did we, you told us about your event. You were here. Yeah, we asked you about. Yeah. So here, I'll pass that one over to him. So this is always my favorite question, and we'll go around the horn with this question, and we'll call her an evening. All right, I want you to look into your crystal ball to December 31st, 2024. And I want you to tell me what goals or what things you want to have accomplished in your life to make it better by then. So that gives you, 15 months, something like that. What are you shooting for in the next year and a bit?
Short term, here in the next month or two, I'm probably going to have a new job.
Okay.
Because the place I'm at is not where I want to be anymore. And the place I'm trying to go to has some other cool people over there.
Nice.
It's way more about having good work to do than it is about making a bunch of money.
Yep.
But making more money is also cool.
They're not mutually exclusive. You can do both.
Right. I'm in the middle of doing some light remodeling on my house. I am not replacing an entire kitchen. Very
Starts with the joists.
Yeah, and then it just works. Yeah.
Some light remodeling, and it seems like every time we have these festivals, it's kind of a goal to be doing something better in relation to the event than I did the last time.
Okay.
So last time when I was here with beef jerky, selling a little bit, I didn't try very hard, and I wasn't smoking it back then. I'm smoking the jerky now, so now it's better. Next time, I'm planning on having better labeling. I need to talk to Grumpy Acres about that. They got some nice labeling. Work.
How about freedom? Anything in your mind that will increase your freedom over the next year or better?
By the end of next year, other than making better financial decisions, not a ton. I have a longer term goal of moving south of the major town that I live near.
Okay.
It's more hilly. That's where my family has lived for a long time. Hills mean hill people. Hill people mean leave me alone. My family's been hill people for a long time. I need to get back in the hills, and that's not where I'm at right now.
Cool.
So probably not next year.
That's okay.
But
there's something powerful in speaking your goals out loud.
Yep.
And I'm not a I don't know what you want to call it, hoity-toity or pie in the sky kind of guy, but there is something powerful about it. It gives you your own personal confirmation and accountability,
Yep.
So I look forward to hearing about your property in the hills, brother.
Me too.
Crunchy Daddy, what do you got there?
Well, first off, that jerky you made was very good, and
I do have good meat.
I've had a bit of jerky in my
wait to
day,
taste your
and
meat.
well
You
done.
smoked that meat. Sorry. Go ahead.
Golly, over the next 15 months, we are building the farm school and our new home, which is all one building, and we're going to be working with probably the people over at Middleby and possibly Weatherford College to get some young chefs to come out and do some cooking classes. Really, there is no food scene in Wise County, Texas, and I'd like there to be. So part of it and part of the whole promise I made to my wife was she's not going to be a lonely Alvord wife. I will bring people to her and create a network of people. So we'll get that all going and just keep growing what we're doing at the farm, learning new things from people we meet at these conferences and our students. And, maybe you could even teach me how this whole podcast thing works and the
Friggin'
proper
right.
etiquette for that. So
I need to introduce you to somebody. His name's Adam. He's a modern frontier on TikTok,
okay.
and he's out of Wisconsin, and he does some very similar things to what you're doing.
Cool.
He sells grass-fed beef, and he's doing this whole he invites the whole community in, and they do these real fancy dinners, and I think you guys would be a really good match. So
And that's kind of what we do at our classes. We'll have a chef there. So as we take a cut, we provide that to the chef, and she teaches us how they use that cut, and then we get to eat it. So
that is cool. Yeah, you
freaking
guys
delicious.
would. I will. Yeah, I did a round table. I did a butchers and kind of like grass-fed beef roundtable episode with three butchers, and he's switched on. I think you guys would hit it off quite well. So,
But yeah, other than that, just trying to solve the world's problems one campfire at a time.
nice.
But here's Amy.
Well, you just stole my answer. But that's good. That means we're on the same page, right? Yeah, we just want to develop more of a community in the little town we're moving to. It's I guess in the bigger DFW area, there's more of a there's more people, so there's more like natural, crunchy mamas that I can get along with, and we've been there so long that we've developed already a community, and even though it's only an hour away, there isn't as much of a community in the small town, and so I just really like to develop a bigger network, and I love to connect people, so I love to get more people that just can help each other out and just develop our tribe.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, dream big, Chuck.
Well,
I don't want no little goals. No, I'm just
no
kidding.
little goals.
Big, hairy, audacious goals, right?
I hope by the end of 24, my primary income will be coming from the business.
Nice.
So it's going to move from so-called side gig to primary gig, and relocate to my own little piece of land, and that I'm looking at different areas to where it'll be kind of a big move. But my primary thing is I'm moving. One reason is for the business, because I want to be closer to the whole network that we have down in that area. And I want to make this. I joke that my business started by John Willis pissing me off, telling me I wouldn't do it. And I just want to make it happen. And I like to talk, I want to do it by this date and do this, because when I say it, especially in this group, it's accountability.
Absolutely.
Because everybody will hold you accountable. Are you doing it? Are you doing this? What have you done? What do you need help with? And that's why, because when you start to slack, this is getting hard, you've got that accountability, because you don't want to disappoint the people who've helped you. And that's the one thing I don't want to do. And that kind of keeps me motivated when I get down or it gets stressful, is I don't want to disappoint the people who've taken their time and they're gracious enough to assist me and help me and give me advice. I don't want to be those people. I don't want to, that's important to me, because those people are important to my life. So that's the last thing I want to do is disappoint them. And it's a good motivation, that having those peers to be successful, in their eyes.
Dude, that's awesome. All right, one step.
2024, I want to have land under contract in Tennessee. That's where we're looking.
It's a good place.
Tennessee's the place to be.
Yeah,
It is. Oh boy, you don't have 105 degrees for 2 straight months. That sounds nice.
You only had it for 2 straight months?
I hear you can live free in Tennessee too.
Also to finally develop the side gig I'm starting to work on building, so it's a combination bookkeeper, analysis, organization, operations guy. I'm like be able to reach out and help smaller businesses to handle the boring stuff for them so they can work on what they love the most.
Nice.
While we build a homestead so I can eventually retire to 50 hours a week working on gardens and trees and animals.
I love to hear that. Love to hear that.
No, I said 50. I'm under no illusions. I don't know if I can say yeah, and then everyone sounds like, yeah, I think everyone's telling me to start slowly, and I'm like, that sounds like a very smart thing to do.
Do it.
Yep.
So we're going to do it. My wife is fully supported, and I even got my father on board, so he's excited. And kiddo is actually learning welding, so I'm going to have a welder in the house for at least a while.
And that's your daughter, right?
That's my daughter, my 16-year-old daughter. Already has a year of welding under her belt. About to start JUCO in January.
Love it.
So we're excited. She's excited. I'm excited. I mean, it's so nice when young people find their way. And hopefully, like I told her, if you decide in 5 years you want to do something else, that's fine. People do that all the time. You're not married to the job, so. Like I went to college as a photography major and came out with a finance degree, so things happen.
You went as a photography major? That is incredible, my brother.
Yeah, I did research and I said, you know what, I've been poor long enough. I want to try something else. Because, it's one of those, you look yourself in the face and your skill set and like, I like this profession, but I'm at best mediocre at it.
Hire him to do our headshots.
Yeah.
No, I got a sister-in-law with a way better eye than I ever had. But like I said, it's one of those coming honest, and I came like, look, I'm not in the top half of this profession. I need to do something I'm going to excel at. That's what I did.
Right on, man. How about you, Nicole? You want to share some goals? Or a goal? Or
I'm all about the goals, Tim.
Yeah,
Don't you know that?
all about the Benjamins, too. So.
Yeah. That's one of my goals.
Yeah, good. Preach it.
Okay. I'm going to start with the silly goal.
All right.
I'm going to have a swim spa.
I love that goal. That's not silly. Why
My goal,
is it silly?
it's a pretty much a narrow focus in my life at this point that a swim spa will be there.
Every time I see you, you mention it. So.
Yeah. That's because it's a goal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just because a swim spa is expensive, right? Like if you think about it, you're $20,000 to $60,000.
Sure.
Okay. And it seems frivolous. But the physical and mental well-being I get when I swim is over the top. It's different than any other kind of exercise I ever do. I do rowing, I do walking, I do running, I lift weights, swimming. It's like it magically transforms my whole world. And when I realized that, it's kind of like roasting coffee. I was like, okay, so I have resisted the swim spa. For how long now? Months, years. It's stupid. It's like I'm giving up time in my life and health for what? A perception. So that's going to happen, and that's going to bust a mindset problem as part of it.
Yep.
And I have one chapter left to write in my book, My 3 Things.
I didn't know you were that close.
I am that close.
That'll be your second book, won't it?
Yep.
Nice.
There's actually a major update of the cookbook coming out, but My 3 Things is in front of it, and that will be out and promoted properly. I have not pushed it right now because I want to take time to market it. And I hope as a result of those 2 things, which this may not seem related, but what I'd like to see is that our network is 10x. Because the most important part of anything I do is the community of freedom-minded people that we are empowered to go pursue our dreams. And for every one of us there is, and we influence another 2 to 3 people,
100%.
it grows. So that's what my goals are.
Okay. I love it.
How about you?
Yeah, I knew you'd say that. So,
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's my show, Nicole. No.
How about you,
Yeah,
Tim?
So last year I stood on stage at Self-Reliance Festival and I did a presentation called From Content to Currency, How to Make Money. And I stood up there and I said, I had a number in my head and that I would be making that much money. So what I said was by December 31st, 2023, I'd be making enough money from my content that we could live off it with no other source of income. And I hit that at the end of August this year. So, which is cool. So, but the joke from the very beginning was not a joke, but Becky and I would say, she would always say, baby, I will always support what you do. She said, but eventually you need to buy me an acreage with your YouTube money, a big house in the country. So we've already bought the Tennessee land didn't come from the YouTube money, but that's where the content, and I mean, all of that comes with the growth as well. But yeah, so that's going to be my goal. Oh, you know what? I'm going to just say it by the end of 2024 to have made enough that we could buy a big house in the country with my content creation money. So there it is.
Yeah. All right.
How do people find you, Nicole?
Go to livingfreeintennessee.com.
.com. Jeremy, do you want to? Is there any way people can follow you or follow up with you if they want to say hello or come and see you somewhere?
I'm in the Telegram groups, Nicole's, Spirico's, Tim's. I try to make the live streams as often as I possibly can. And I have not started my content creation yet for no good reason. I need to get off my butt. Yes, I am a freesetting and not as active as I need to be. So it's just one of those. I tend to over-focus on a single project. And so it's one of those I need to just manage my time better.
That's all right. So what you're saying is join the Telegram groups?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Chuckles.
Homesteadmedical.us is my website. I've got a YouTube channel that coincidentally is under my name of Homestead Medical. I've got all the other social media, TikTok, Instagram. There's a separate Facebook page for Homestead Medical. So, yeah, that's how you can find me and come train with me. Come take a class.
Crunchy Mama.
You can find us at crunchymamafarms.com, and it's crunchy, M-A-M-A, farms.com. We're most active on Facebook. Occasionally I'll do a little Instagram, but we need to talk to you about getting a little bit more on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Or like any.
No worries.
Yeah, that's kind of the joke, is if I had a GoPro on me with all the crazy things that happen at the farm on a day-to-day basis, I mean, that's gold. Yeah. But yeah, crunchymamafarms.com.
Nice. How about the Meat Man?
The Meat Man.
With the tastiest meat in your mouth. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not sure I'd put that in Google, right?
You know your
Yeah,
meat.
don't Google search that. I don't know. If you're bored, you can go into YouTube and type in my name, Sam Russell, R-U-S-S-E-L-L, and see whatever random bullshit it is I'm talking about.
Including a possibly footage of firing a 50 cal?
It's not firing. There is a video of me
okay.
taking apart and putting together a 50 cal for the first time in 6 years.
In just over 4 minutes.
4 minutes and 19 seconds, first time in 6 years. I'm actually really proud of that.
You should be.
Yeah, so there's some machine gunner related stuff, some being outside stuff, some stuff about how the government's dicks. If you're into any of that, I'll probably say something you like.
Guns don't kill people. The government does. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this taste of what a live event is. This is what we do. We sit around, we shoot the shit, we look into the future, we support each other, we tell each other, that's a really dumb idea, you should do it this way instead. All in love. So anyway, guys, we love you. Stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week. Thanks, folks.
Yeah, go check on our children.